fans, how we doing? Welcome to the Week 9 pregame episode where the Tennessee Titans take on the New England Patriots in Nissan Stadium. But before we get started, let me go ahead and insert a quick little plug. If you're not following me on YouTube, TikTok, and X, make sure to follow me on all three platforms. The handle's the same no matter where you go. It's the What's Up Titans Fan Pod, and I put out videos all throughout the week. I'm talking Monday through Friday, where Monday is the post-game video, and typically Friday is the pre-game video, which I know I'm doing right now on Saturday. I'm late. Hey, it is what it is. But the rest of the week, I put out Titans videos, either longer videos or short, sometimes lives. And then on game day, I'll do watch parties or halftime reports, depending. I have stopped on the watch parties because, hey, the games are long. They're 3 hours long, and they're miserable. The Titans are absolutely garbage this year. We only have one win. So it's hard to entertain for 3 hours when we're getting blown out in games like 52-14. There's not much to talk about except for me complaining about the Tennessee Titans for 3 hours straight. But let's go ahead and get into the game. This week we take on the New England Patriots, and yes, they're about just as bad as us, right? They only have 2 wins on the season. They won last week, but they're right above us in the power rankings because they have 2 wins. But this is a must-lose game. I know in my heart, right? I am a Titans fan through and through, and in my heart, I want them to win. Every week I'm like, go out and win. But no, we can't do it because in my head, my brain, I'm like, look, we have to play smart. We have to lose this game. It can jeopardize our entire future. We must lose this game and not sacrifice going up in the draft. Right now, we're only better than the Carolina Panthers. They are fighting hard for that #1 draft pick, but we can't just give it to them. We have to lose this game. Let the Patriots go out there and do their thing, because right now it's going to be a battle of the backups more than likely. But who knows? Because for right now, questionable going into the game is Drake May, and so is Will Levis, right? They're both questionable. I know Will Levis and Mason Rudolph has split the reps throughout the week. They haven't really announced the starter yet. It could be Will Levis. It could be Rudolph. I mean, if Will Levis isn't 100%, you might as well play Rudolph. It doesn't really give you much of an advantage either way you go. Maybe a slight advantage with Levis just because he has the big play capability, but it ain't going to be that big of a difference. I mean, we haven't seen his ceiling at all this year, right? We've only seen the floor. Last year, we saw his ceiling when he got to verse the Atlanta Falcons in his very first game where he threw 4 tutties right off the bat. And then we also saw it in the Miami game. But other than that, we haven't seen that from Will Levis. And then we saw Mason Rudolph, and the team basically functioned the same, whether it was Will Levis or Mason Rudolph. There really wasn't very many big plays. It was just Deacon and Duncan, and he still had massive turnovers. Hey, I appreciate it, Chris. Hey, thanks for the sub. Good video. I love the comment. Thanks for it, Chris. Hey, it helps the channel out. But yeah, Will Levis, if he comes in this week, we might get a few more big plays, might be more interceptions because we know he loves to take shots, right? He throws it in the triple coverage, double coverage. He throws it straight to linebackers floating in the middle of the field. But we do get those big plays. But last week, Mason Rudolph did connect with Ridley many times. He had like 10 receptions for 150 yards or something like that. So Ridley finally had his breakout game. It took him 8 weeks to get there, but he finally got there. So, if Ridley ends up playing this week, he could end up connecting again. I mean, if Rudolph ends up playing, he could end up connecting again with Ridley. But hey, we need Levis to go out there and show us what he can do. We drafted him in the 2nd round. We can't give up on him so soon. I know he's been injured with the shoulder, and if he's healthy, play Levis. Let's see what he has. I know there's a very slim chance we can make the playoffs, right? It's very, very slim. I mean, we're 0-3 in the division, 1-6 overall. We would have to basically win out. As we saw the Texans, they did lose last week. They have a few losses now on the season. So it would be an insane miracle for us to win consistently and for the Texans to lose and for us to pass them in a division and get a playoff spot, which is not going to happen. So we might as well lose out. But yes, for the game, they're missing a few guys for the Patriots, right? Christian Ellis, Duggar, their safety, Drake May's questionable, a guard, and a linebacker. And then us, Definitely out is Rupchick, our offensive tackle. Spears is out, and Snead is out for like the third game straight. Then questionable is Hooker, which is a concern because we are a little thin at safety right now. We only really have Diggs back there because, we got rid of Jamal Adams. And Tyler Boyd is questionable. And our receiving core is a little sus right now because, we have Ridley on one side, which he finally is doing well. But other than Ridley, who do we have? If Boyd is questionable, we have NWI. We got rid of D-Hop, and then it starts getting to these practice squad players, right? All these Mason Kinseys and that Oliver guy, or, these guys that don't typically make NFL rosters. That's who we're going to have out there running routes because Burks is out as well. Even though he's basically a practice squad player, we just overdrafted him. So it's going to be a tough game for that. And look, last week, when I did my score prediction, I was basically right on point when it came to the Lions. I don't really like giving an exact prediction. I like giving within a range. And I basically said, the Detroit Lions, they're going to end up scoring 40-something points on us, which I was close. They were at 52. I was like, they're going to score 40-something points. And I was like, we're not getting past 17, which we didn't. We didn't even make it past 10. So, we got to 10 at half, and we stayed where we were. Because I knew we were going to get blown out. It was the Detroit Lions. And if you saw my videos earlier in this week, you saw where I talked about the NFL analysts, right, and what they did and predicted for the games. And if you look at it, in each of the predictions, there was 10 NFL analysts that made predictions, and 8 of the 10 had us scoring under 20 points. The rest, the other 2 had us right at 20, but the games were split between them. 5 analysts picked us to win, 5 picked us to lose. A lot of it was low-scoring games. One analyst, Gordon, even picked us to lose 8-6. They do not expect much from this game, and neither do I. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm saying we're probably going to end up scoring around 10 to 14 points. It's not going to be much. It's going to be within the range we typically score, and we're going to allow probably somewhere between 17 to 21. It's going to be a low-scoring game like that. I don't expect us to put up too much because, look, this defense isn't as good as people think it is, right? We ended up giving up not a lot of yards. I know we were the number 1 pass defense for up until like a couple weeks ago, but we were the number 1 pass defense in the league. But look, it's all fluff. You can't believe the stats. A lot of it is because of turnovers, and our special teams is atrocious out there. So these teams have short fields to work with, so they put up a lot of points. As you saw last week, the Detroit Lions, we stopped Jared Goff to under 100 passing yards. We did the same thing in week 1 to Williams, right? Caleb Williams. We're doing this because our special teams is so bad, and we turn over the ball so much. Our defense, their stats are fluffed because they're working with short fields, even though they allow a touchdown almost every drive. But that's just what we do. Hey, what up, J-Dog? He said, hey, what usually goes on around here? Hey, I put out Titans content all throughout the week, Monday through Friday. I do post-game shows on Monday. I do pre-game shows on Friday, which is happening now on Saturday because I'm a day late. And I do watch parties or halftime shows during the game on Sunday when I go live. But I put out shorts, longer videos. Hey, just make sure to stay tuned. I appreciate the comment, J-Dog. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that. It helps the channel out. And keep the comments coming. I read them all. But yeah, our special teams is atrocious. As you've seen, I don't think we've had our gunners on either the punt return or the punt coverage or the kick coverage make the initial tackle yet this season. It hasn't happened. Every time they either over pursue the guy or they just miss the tackle. And then they get long yardage on these special teams plays, which allows the defense to not give up very much yards, but they still allow a touchdown. And then these turnovers, we're always turning the ball over. So we end up giving the defense short fields again, which fluffs their numbers, makes their pass defense look good, when our pass defense is not that good. Awuze's been on IR for a while now. L'Jarius Sneed is hurt. He did good the first few weeks of the season and then got mossed by Michael Pittman. Haven't seen the man since. He's been injured the last couple weeks. Haven't seen him at all. Hey, Honorably Stone, what up, man? He said Titans are doo-doo. Y'all should have gotten Winston. Hey, I agree. The Titans are doo-doo right now. Winston, he's looking like a dog out in Cleveland. He's out there doing the sayings, talking about the names on their helmets when they ain't even got names on their helmets. But you got to love Winston. He's one of the best attitude quarterbacks in the league. I would have loved to have him. But hey, we're stuck with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. And that's what we have, which is giving our defense struggles right now because we're just allowing these teams to get short fields on us. But enough with the quarterbacks. Let's go to the runner backs, right? Tony Pollard. He's sitting at 114 carries, 494 yards. He's been one of the main pieces on our offense each week. We just try to feed this man the ball because we don't trust the pass game. You've seen that with our coach. He's supposed to bring this modernized offense from Cincinnati that we haven't seen yet because Will Levis cannot hit a target to save his life. Mason Rudolph is just as bad. So he's reverted to running the ball, which, hey, it's the roster Brian Callahan inherited, so we cannot give up on him. He inherited this run the ball, play good defense team. He tried modernizing it. You saw in the first few weeks we were throwing the ball like crazy, but now we're just running the ball because he can't trust these guys to catch the ball. I mean, we tried feeding Ridley so many times. One game he had 0 catches on like 8 targets or however many it was. It was insane, but so we're just running the ball now. And Tajay Spears, he's questionable. He may not even play, which means we might see Chestnut in there a lot throughout the week. Next, these receivers, most of them have been silent. Ridley's finally woken up this season. Last game he had a good game out there. I think he had like 10 catches for like 150-something yards. He did really good. Boyd, questionable, probably not going to play. We done got rid of D-Hop. Our tight ends aren't doing nothing this season, even though we kept 5 of them on the initial 53-man roster, even though 2 of them hasn't even played yet this season. We haven't seen DMR at all. No, Coydaway guy, we haven't seen him at all. We see is Chig, Wiley, and Vanette, which is a blocking tight end. That man, you never see him catch the ball at all. So haven't seen these tight ends at all, even though we kept so many on the roster for whatever reason, even though our positions like wide receiver is running thin. We don't have really anyone at wide receiver right now. NWI is back to being one of our top receivers. Then on defense, man, defense is tough. Like I said, you can't believe the stats on a lot of these. Even though Kenneth Murray, he is leading our team in tackles. Ernest Jones, he's still second on our team in tackles, even though we traded that man away. Quandre Diggs, he's doing well for us. So is Hooker. Hey, Harold Landry, we haven't seen much of this guy at all. He has 4 sacks on the season. That all happened earlier in the season. What happened to him in the last few weeks? Man has been out of sight, out of mind. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., what a pickup so far this season. We drafted this dude. He's been one of our top DBs, even though he's more like a slot DB, but he's been having to step up because L'Jarius Sneed, like I talked about earlier, he's been injured the last couple weeks. He got mossed by Michael Pittman, but haven't seen him in a couple weeks. Then T-Sweat. T-Sweat has been good all season long besides these last couple weeks when we started playing quality teams. We played the Bills. We played the Lions. T-Sweat has been off the field. Haven't seen the man. He's not making plays. Before, you'd always see him disrupting plays in the backfield. Where is he right now? And then Big Jeff. I'm telling you, this man must have developed superpowers over the offseason. I'm talking about the power of invincibility because you don't see this guy at all. Where has he been all season? Big Jeff's supposed to be one of our top defensemen, on the entire team. We paid this man big money. Haven't seen him. Only 2 sacks on the season. He doesn't disrupt plays. You don't see him out there running around making these. I know he has an elbow injury, but where is he at on the field? You don't see him. Next, Roger McCreary. Roger McCreary is one of our better DBs. We have a good DB, core, but obviously Sneed's injured. Awuze's injured. So we have Brownlee Jr. stepping up. We have McCreary doing his thing. He's always good. He's just short and he has a little arm, so it's tough for him to make plays. Jamal Adams, he's no longer on the roster. We don't see him. That man only had 20 snaps for us. When he had like 3 tackles, wasn't doing much as a defenseman. I'm just going through down some of these stats. I'm still waiting to see what Darrell Baker Jr. We traded for him. We gave Ernest Jones up for him. Got to see him make some plays out there. After that, we get to the guys with not too much on the stat sheet. Our kicking, we're still doing good. Our field goal kicker, Nick Folt, he's doing well. He made 9 field goals. Kicking is not an issue, which was a curse for us for a long time. The special teams game, it's not working on either end. I'm talking when we're we're kicking off or punting the ball, or we're receiving it and running it. Because so far on every kick coverage, punt coverage, we missed the initial tackle. We done had a one run back for a touchdown on us last week. We suck at special teams. And then returning the ball, When do we ever not have a penalty on a positive return? Every time we have a positive return, there's always a holding penalty. Something's wrong with our special teams. Then not to mention the punt blocks. We had 2 punt blocks in one game. I don't know why we still have a special teams coach that's allowing this to happen. They need to fire this man because our special teams is atrocious. I know the coach isn't the one out there playing, but he's the one that's got to get these players right. And so far, he is not getting them right at all. So it is tough. It is tough out there. And then if you look at the ESPN matchup predictor, so far they are giving us the benefit of the doubt, which is different from the NFL analysts where it was 5-4, 5 against. On ESPN, they do that little predictor thing where it shows a percentage based on the ESPN analytics. And so far, they give the Tennessee Titans a 62% chance of winning, which is really high. It really is, because we are terrible right now, and we don't need to win the game. We need to lose this game. That way we get a better draft pick. But that about does it for today's show. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tighten up, baby.